What's up, boys? Today we're going to be checking out the 1.0 release of Achilles Survivor, an interesting mix of bullet heaven, tower defense, and objective hunting around the map. They've recently added in a bunch of upgrades to the various Survivor classes here. You have your standard upgrades in the General tab, just very basic stat increases. Commander is focused around turret upgrades, and power damage. Marksman is, I guess, striking very quickly and movement speed. Warrior is tankiness and high melee damage. Rogue is your high critical stats, lots of luck, so you get higher tier upgrades, pretty cool. I don't have that much meta progression yet, so I'm not sure if there's anything super unique or interesting at the higher tiers, but I think I'm going to be playing the game a bit more and finding out. Enchanter is based around high spell damage and good XP gain. So let's jump right on in and check out one of the new characters they just added on a map I haven't done yet. So Naza is the rogue class, high luck, very high crit stats. He actually has a big penalty to shooting damage, so we'll want to avoid those if possible. He starts with the Heavenly Spear. There's a new talent system where if you defeat 5,000 enemies with their starter weapon, you actually get a talent. I don't know exactly what that is, since it looks like it'll take you about 5 runs on that character to unlock it, so that's going to take quite a while. I think his basic weapon is a melee and fire tags weapon, and duration as well, but I don't think you can actually see anything about it. I wish they would add a bit more information. Like, you can't even hover over armor and see what that corresponds to or what luck gives you there. So, game could use a bit more information on, like, hovering over stuff and all. But on the patch notes it said it was fire, and I'm assuming a spear's melee. It's kind of a unique weapon in that it sort of just hovers a fixed distance in front of you, so it's actually kind of hard to use, especially if you're getting swarmed. But if you can properly position it, it's pretty good damage. Just kind of hard early on when we don't really have any other weapons to go with it. It's big collection range, yup. I think mythic is the highest rarity, so that'll be fantastic for XP throughout the run. There's also these tiny little stone piles throughout the map that I think will occasionally respawn, and then you use stone to build towers. They have various different active effects nearby, and they also give some passive bonuses. I believe that's only while they're alive. So if you put them sort of in the middle of the map, they can actually die pretty easily, and you'll eventually lose those stats. But I think if we have it off to the side like that, we should get some decent value out of that. Okay, so it looks like that is melee, since you can see the little indicator on that. These are the stone mines. You'll have to build them up and then stay in the area for a little while. Super important for building up lots of towers. Power damage, I believe that just works on all of our active skills, so that's not bad. Let's see, melee and duration, that looks pretty good. That's also melee and duration. I believe this one has some pretty cool upgrades for it. Every 5 levels, you'll get a Greek overclock, or whatever they call them in here, probably just evolutions, but they'll have more unique effects for the weapons. Of course, we're still level 1 on both of them. Let's do some power damage here. Actually, crits. The rogue gains that big crit damage boost, so that'll be nice for all of our stuff there. So yeah, because the towers can actually die and lose the stats, I find a lot of the time you don't want to just spam them out as much as possible. You might want to save them for like a difficult boss that spawns or something. And if you can make some of them on the very far outskirts, then enemies often won't damage them either. So you can sort of do that to sacrifice some of your stone for some permanent stat boosts. And then if you ever get into a lot of trouble, I suppose you can also kite out there as well and get a little bit of help from them still. Power cooldown. Let's go crit chance here. Cooldown is actually a lot weaker here than in most bullet heavens, because any skills that have a duration on them will not cool down at all while they're active. So it only starts applying once the duration fades. Of course, you could just not get any skills with duration, and I guess it would probably just work normally, like you would expect. Champions sometimes have some special abilities. This guy, I think, probably has a slam in melee range if he gets close to you. It's gonna be pretty hard to actually hit a champion all that much with a basic weapon. Decent damage there. I guess what we can do is bait out the slam at max range and then get some spear hits on top of them. I should probably just go for these chests real quick. They don't take too long to grab, and they sometimes give you some useful power-ups. So we got a speed boost off of that, it looks like. Oh yeah, those glowing spiders will explode and deal massive damage when they die, and you can actually use those to damage enemies as well, if you time it correctly. Big XP gain. I don't know what the pickaxe is. I don't see anything obvious. I'm guessing it has something to do with stone? We could kite him into our one turret here, get a little bit of health here. Big movement speeds. This looks like a decent area for a turret off to the side where there shouldn't be too many enemies running through it. So we'll go for another stat boost here. Let's get some early XP gain. Let's go melee damage. That seems pretty good. Oh yeah, you can also stand near the workshop and spend some of your gold, which is normally only used for rerolls, but you can actually convert it into, I think, stat increases there, but we're actually out since I haven't really earned it yet. Trying to get some big AoE with the main weapon whenever it's up here. Let's see... Melee Orbiter Duration, that looks good for the build here. Shields that increase movement and armor. Ooh, that sounds cool. I don't think I've seen that one before. So I guess we actually want to keep them active for the stat boost? Oh, I guess I want to see exactly how much they do first. So 16 and 40. And then if we lose them, those are still the same, so I don't know what it means by that. I do feel faster. Oh, here we go. 54 and 190. Holy. And that's with all three of them up. Okay, that's a ton of stats. Wow. Seems kind of awkward to use it as an actual damage spell with how short they are, though. Especially against exploding enemies. Would not want to run in there right now. Ow. I wasn't even close and I took that much damage, Jesus. Okay, mythic armor. Hopefully that'll help us stay alive here. Yeah, I was just hitting them with the max range spear and still it hit me, so we need to really focus on not getting anywhere near them, I guess. Actually, let's toss one of those healing things if I can find one. Here we go. Heals survivor while they're nearby, 50 HP. I'm gonna build one of those just so I don't die here, I think. And then over here off to the side, we can build a stat booster. Let's get some crit chance and summons here, I think. Just max range tipping. Please don't explode on me. Let's do probably something for the main weapon so we can try and see some evolutions for that. Got some more healing. Looks like that's all done now. We still have one more stone mine on the mini-map, it looks like. Oh, actually, this is some sort of objective where you kill them in the circle, I think? Still need to deal with those stupid exploding spiders. Big damage for the shields. That seems kind of hard to use. Let's go for the mythic global upgrade. Okay, nice. We got some big explosions onto the champion there. Purple luck, not bad. Speed boost, it looks like. Use that to get away from the spiders. If we could set some of them off right as they're on top of the champions here, that would be huge, I think. But it's just so risky with the weapons we currently have. Okay, there we go. Construction speed, I don't feel like that's a very useful stat. I'm probably just gonna take... Oh, that works on 3 of them, that's pretty good. Maybe you could do like a full structure and tower defense build on a commander class survivor. And you could go for those stats a bit more and it would be pretty good. But I haven't really experimented with that a ton yet. Does sound pretty interesting though if it could work. Oh my god, the screen shake on the explosions there. Big movements, sure. Decent crit damage. Those flags are a structure that got destroyed. If you stand on them, you can reclaim it, but also I find that you don't really have enough stone to really spam them all over the new structures all over the map anyways. So it doesn't really seem super important to get them back most of the time, I feel like. Maybe it'll be different on like endless mode once I unlock that and you can keep mining stuff throughout the run. The XP gain? Yep. Oh, the shields don't get consumed. They're just constantly active. Okay. They are still very hard to actually hit with how short they are, though. So that's a duration melee. That looks good for the build we're trying out here. So I believe these objectives will spawn a bunch of exploding enemies as well. We can try to pull those on top of the huge horde here. And the elite as well, maybe, and sort of friendly fire each other. Oh yeah, that definitely kind of worked. Decent crit damage for the shields. I think we'll go there. We're one away from getting our first evolution ports. So this is for the spear. We can gain increased pushback or increased duration but reduced damage. Neither of those really seems that interesting. It looks like I have some sort of quest for this one, so I guess I'll just do that to try to finish that off then. I'm assuming that's what the exclamation mark is over there. We can just skip. Okay, there we go. Another crit damage. Well, we can actually keep frontal enemies completely off of me with that knockback boost, it seems like. Kind of useful, but also kind of situational, I think. Oh yeah, there's also little mini objectives on each map, and you gain extra meta progression from those. So we do want to focus on structures a bit more towards the ends. That, I don't think, is even possible on normal difficulty, which I'm locked to currently. And I don't think that's even possible here either. I've never even been remotely close to either of those on a single run yet. So I think we'll have to progress a bit more before I can do either of those two. That looks like a good spot off to the side. Let's go crit chance, especially since we want to maximize the number of structures. 5 stone is, I think, the best we can do on those. Oh, I should get another workshop now that we have a ton of golds. Big damage, sure. Oh, that's not where I want to be. Jesus. Might need another healing thing. Here we go. Yeah, let's make sure I don't die. Can't go that way. Can we? Well, my attacks are on cooldown. Maybe we can squeeze by there. Big power cooldown. Let's go another heal, so I hopefully don't die. These exploding spiders seem kind of OP for a melee build, it feels like. Like, their explosion is literally 90% the size of my maximum range weapon. So there's almost nothing I can do about them, it seems like. Let's do, I guess, the level there, try and get an evolution there. And then that's enough enemies. Let's actually get something that can do some damage. Spikes that lacerate enemies, sure. We'll spend a bit of stone to actually help out with the damage while I'm struggling here. And then we'll try to save a bit for the final boss, if I can. Jesus. Is there a screen shake option? Okay, nice. That'll be nice quality of life there. Big crit damage cooldown. I don't feel like crit damage on the shield is going to do a ton. They are very short range, and we're struggling with the explosive spiders, which they can't even reach. Oh, we need to kill those archers, actually. Nice dodge. Yeah, I'll take a bit of survivability. I can't even reach those guys. Let's go... I guess some power damage and flamethrowers nearby. And then let's try and get some cheap stat boost towards the outside to try and finish off that structure objective. I guess we want to try and find a workshop? Or the 5 stone thing. I guess we'll do a 10 stone one. Big XP gain, I think. Construction speed? I don't think so. Let's go to level 5 and see what we can get on that. So that allows us to build a forge structure, I think. And then we need to use that to get the evolution. Here we go. Copies of his spear and attacks from the air. That sounds insane. And it looks like we need that as well. Yeah, let's try that out. Let's cancel that. It's not a great spot for now. See if we can get some cheap ones on the outside, and then we'll go... Both of those are for the main one. Yeah, I guess we'll just take that. I'll do some dodge here, I think. Then the 10 stone one here. How close are we to that? Okay, that's doable. Five stone, not bad. Let's do an armored spiker there. And then another Myrmidon there. And then hopefully some of these will still be alive for the boss in 2 minutes since they're kind of towards the outside. Let's do some power damage there. And then see if we can finish this little portal objective over there. Try and nuke down the stupid spiders if I can. That one is 2 levels away, that might be doable still. We can funnel them through the spike tower over there while we go for the chest. Big damage for that. Oh my god, I feel like the screen is still shaking when they die. That's the one we're trying to get the evolution on now. Yeah, my range is just so short, I can't even hit any of the explosive enemies. Rough build, to be honest. Alright, boss is coming out soon. Let's just build any sort of damage structures we can. I think the bursts of flame are pretty good for that. And then let's get another of those over here if we can find it. Crit chance, sure. And then we've got the fire. Try and just pull those through all of our turrets on this side. Power duration but reduced damage. A wave of fire upon the vanishing of power burns all enemies around. That sounds cool. And looks like we need that as well. Let's toss some rerolls, see if we can find the level 5 for that then. Big movement speed would be helpful. He does have a lot of damage areas on the ground. I think I will take a purple. Big crit chance, very nice. I kind of wish there was a way to keep getting stone at this point. Like, the towers actually do seem pretty interesting, but they're just kind of limited, it feels like. I wonder if there's like a commander upgrade that gives them stone over time or something. That would actually be pretty cool. Kind of just trying to keep the spear on top of them whenever I can, but it's kind of hard. There's the level 5. Do I still have a forge up? I don't think I do. There is a little bit of stone up here. We might be able to go for it. I think it was 10 for the forge, right? Let's go somewhere where the boss isn't right now. Okay, 5, so even better. Power duration or critical damage. I think we'll probably just go here with the rogue crit build. Big cooldown. It seems like I don't have enough time to move out of a circle if he spawns it directly on top of me. And I have some pretty big movement speed upgrades here as well. Let's do that to help out with what I just said. Oops, keep running into the arrows. $10 million to enemies with powers. So these are the rogue class upgrades. Those are the generic upgrades, and those are the tower specific upgrades. Let's see what we can unlock over here. 30% crit damage is massive. That's not bad. And then not quite enough for anything super useful, I guess. But still a ways away from unlocking this stuff. Yeah, I feel like for the commander class, if there's something that generates stone over time in the final tier, that would be pretty interesting. How close are we to the talent upgrade after all of that? 2.6k, so maybe 2 more runs would do it. But yeah, pretty cool game, I feel like. I'm going to be playing a bit more, but that's going to be it for now. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.